Hello and welcome to Quell. Now what I want to talk about in this video is about Martyn's Law. Now that's all linked obviously to what it is called the Terrorism Protection of Premises Bill. And this was brought around by the death of Martyn Hett. And his mother, Figen Murray, has pushed this immensely to get some form of law in place. And I'm see she's been awarded an OBE, so well done on that. And the work that she must have had to put in to get the government to shift on something is unbelievable. It's all in reflection to the bomb back in Manchester 2017. I was actually brought up less than a mile from that area, so I know how dense it can be and how difficult it can be. But the law is important, and what I've had over the past few months especially is my clients coming to me and saying, right, okay, we've got Martyn's Law, we've seen it being mentioned in future tenders, we know it's important, but what do we do? And I've said, well, actually the bill is actually going through the government properly, the House of Commons, House of Lords, in spring and summer, from what I've read latest, but you know yourselves, it can all change. But what it actually does, it asks for certain things to be done. And the reason being is if you reflect to the Manchester Arena bomb, there was a lot of mistakes. I've read the report, I strongly ask you to look at it or watch the documentaries, and there was mistakes from transport to security to CCTV to, there's an immense amount of problems. But the thing what I read about it, what I found interesting was they couldn't identify exactly who was responsible. Yes, they blamed organisations and the odd individual. And that's what I think this bill concentrates a lot on, and I've been explaining that to my clients, is having somebody that is solely responsible for that specific risk. So what they did was they came up with the Protective Security Advisor. Now, the way I look at it is their role, and it doesn't necessarily have to be internal, but if it's aimed at large venues, it's going to be somebody internal, but they could bring a specialist in or something like that to assist in them. But it asks them to look at the risk assessments, but specifically around terrorism. The interesting thing for me is that if you think about it, many years ago, we had lots of terrorist incidents to do with bombs, but they've evolved over the years. We've had knifings, we've had obviously shootings, we've had vehicles being used. So there's a plethora of changes that things have actually done to change the way terrorism is looked upon. So it's specific look at that. The procedures are then directed at exactly what the staff do, how they react, how they move the public, guests or visitors. Because we work in hospitality, retail, we work with a lot of security companies and CCTV companies, we look with government agencies. So there is a housing big thing with us. So there is an immense amount of areas that you have to look at. But it's those that have large capacity of visitors, guest population, etc. Once you've got the procedures down, is the staff actually trained on what to do? And I'm a big advocate of training. The thing is with training, and I do express this a lot, you can never replicate real situations, but what you can do is you can put a bit of emotion in there, you can put a bit of confusion, make it a bit more interesting, but it's getting the staff to think, as I would always call, naturally of what to do and where to go and how to guide people instead of just, I'm sorry to say it, but freaks. The physical measures, I've always said, can run parallel to the risk assessment, the procedures and the training, and they would be doors, locking systems, CCTV, which I push a lot in the right manner, low working devices, which I cannot believe some organisations I work with don't even use them, and I keep pushing this and I'm worried that something's going to happen, but they do work with me, which is good. Our gates, turnstiles, anything like that, that's that physical measure. And then obviously we look at evacuation. I've just finished with a chain of premises, and we've looked at their evacuation procedures, and I basically just changed it slightly. So instead of the original was let's go and stand in the car park, all they're doing is walking another 100 metres and they're in a hotel. And it means you can keep everyone centralised within an area and there's facilities. And to tell you the truth, the hotel's quite happy with that. The staff were quite happy because they thought they could get a free latte, a cappuccino, but we'll leave that one. And then you've got to sit back and think, okay, well, what have we done to make sure that, one, obviously the staff are protected, but two, that when you come onto our premises, location, site, whatever that might be, and there is an incident, that you know exactly what to do. As I've said, brilliant. I don't know the stress the family went through, the Murray family, for the son, Martyn Hett, to get this bill through. But if you haven't looked at it or you haven't understood it, there's plenty of videos, again, I always say, on YouTube, or articles you can get through Google, that will give you a better idea of what to do. This is just me giving, let's just say, a summary of information to get you thinking, because, not being funny, it's coming and it's going to obviously arrive, but you must be ready. Thank you for watching. Please look all over social media. You might find something that might prompt a conversation at your place. Stay safe, whatever you're doing. Bye for now.